I'm checking, dude. All right.
And we are live. And if you hear a little bit background, because I'm watching New Japan crossover. We're
Hey.
started.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Hope you're enjoying this pre-Thanksgiving Sunday. Man, man, hell, we got a lot to talk about, Morella.
Yes, we got to talk
Oh,
about it. AEW Full Gear, of course, the history of the crossover promotion, and of course, the anniversary of the Montreal Screwjob.
and before we do, I want to start off with two very melancholy farewells. First and foremost, to our brother in arms, enforcer. He just lost his mom a couple days ago. So if y'all notice he's not here today, so Tone, we want to send our thoughts and prayers to you, Nicole, and the rest of the family. So one love, hope you're doing well there. But then we had a shocker, and this one I ain't even, man. When I woke up to this one, I was like, what? And of course, yeah, Tommy Oliver himself, the green Dragon Zord Ranger, of course, White Ranger, Red Zeo and Turbo, Jason David Frank, yeah, passed away at the age of 49.
Yeah, that was a big shocker, man. Everybody grew up watching Mighty Morphin Power Ranger
Yeah.
from Fox Kids era,
Yeah. From that
people,
to Zeo to Turbo. Yeah, and then of course when he came back for Dino Thunder, I think it was.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's like I said, that's great, and especially like next year for the big 30th anniversary of the Power Rangers. I was like, what?
It's untimely and it was unfortunate that that happened because we all love Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, and
Yeah,
just to see it happening, it's really broke us heart. Like it really broke mine, to be honest. And I
like,
remember seeing Jason David Frank in our Comic Con, not Comic Con, kind of like a
sort of like a
convention.
Comic Con, but yeah, but it was
Yeah, smaller.
yeah.
Like last year, what's it? Yeah, last year, and Jamel Tip, not Jamel Tipple, Greenville,
Mm.
and see the whole cast of Power Ranger. To see them, man, it was really really dope, man. To see them,
Mm.
all the group, man, and RP to a legend, man.
Yeah. All right, but yeah. But anyway, let's get into it. Last night, Newark, New Jersey, Full Gear. I gotta say this one, like, yeah. Let's go with because I even gotta give the 0 hours some props on this one because they turned out some hella good shows. It started off with the best friends, because Rocky Romero and the returning Danhausen and the AEW All Atlantic champion Orange Cassidy defeating QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, Nick Camarado, Cole Carter, and of course Big Shotty Lee Johnson of the Factory. But the story of this match was Danhausen because this man came out with the cape, blood, like dried blood up on his face. It actually had teeth. I don't. I'm praying that they were like made up teeth or something like that. But yeah, he
Yeah,
actually took teeth, put them in somebody's mouth, and then kicked. Yeah, y'all literally hear somebody saying he like knocked the teeth out of his mouth. Well, this case, it literally happened.
yeah, that was a huge surprise. When we see the best friend come out with Rocky Romero, and you see the screen say mystery partners, I'm like, okay, that's kind of strange. It was four of them and five of them from the factory, and they see Dawson come in. It was a huge surprise, and just actually I want to say the first time. No, this is the first time we see him seriously, like a serious debut.
Yeah, that was the only part that was a surprise about Danhausen. Yeah.
And he come out with not only with the back full of teeth, but with a spike, and
Yeah. Oh,
he
yeah.
just come with a spike with his hand, come out that evil side of him. That was
Yeah.
a fun part. I really like that one. Great match, very entertaining,
Yeah.
very surprising.
I I do got to give Factory one. I do got to give them one thing. They stole the best friends moment.
I remember that everybody tried to go for that best friend hug, but they got cut
Yep.
off.
Yep.
And then old boy QT standing in the middle of the ring, and everybody come around giving that big hug, and everybody,
Yep.
all the fans was booing that shit.
You
That was
gave the
funny.
you gave the people what they didn't want. See, that's what Excalibur should have done last night.
Mm, that was that was a really funny moment, but entertaining match, and
Yep.
get pro for that one.
And then next up was the semifinals of the Eliminator tournament. It's Absolute Ricky Starks took on the Machine Brian Cage, and of course, on commentary for this one will be the other finalist, All Ego Eat the Page, who of course defeated Bandito Wednesday night to get to the finals.
This match really surprised me. I'm glad Taz brought up the team FTW history,
Oh
in
yeah,
which we almost forgot, but it freshened up our memory. Um, Ricky Stark and Brian Cage go at it, and I thought it would be a almost like 60-40, but it was like equal because what Ricky Stark did to Brian Cage, he lift over his shoulder. That showed real true strength, and that means he could go toe to toe with anybody. And which he did with Hobbs, but this one is a whole different story between these two. And Ricky Stark showing some work, and did show us injury because he did got hurt in the earlier of the match, or should I say, earlier of the tournament.
yep,
But Brian Cage put in that work, but Ricky Stark pulled the victory.
yeah, that's right. And that's right. The Absolute One pulled it out in the end. So now that means Wednesday night on Dynamite, it'll be All Ego Eat the Page, Absolute Ricky Starks, and the winner will challenge the AEW champion at Winter is Coming in a couple of weeks. Then we get to the final match of the 0 hour pre-show, and this one, and it delivered in spades. Eddie Kingston, the Mad King, Jun Akiyama from DDT Pro Wrestling, and man, they delivered the hits just like you would expect.
Eddie Kingston and Jun never disappoint me. No, let me take that back. Eddie Kingston never disappoint me when he faced any Japanese wrestler, either is Noah, DDT, or New Japan. When you bring somebody to his caliber, he will show you the strong style. In which I wish he would go to DDT Pro Wrestling very soon.
Mhm.
But that match, I expect that one. Like he did with Tomohiro Ishii the last pay per view. This one is great, and I'll put that up on a great match. I'll put a match of the year candidate right next to Tomohiro Ishii, next to Overdrive. Shout out to Impact Wrestling,
Yep.
and the other matches we will bring up very soon. But this right here, this is very emotional because Eddie Kingston won this match because that's just one of his favorite childhood hero, the one he grew up watching. And June from DDT Pro Wrestling, he shows up.
Mhm.
He not the type of guy not to fuck with, and he bring it to him. So great back and forth match, and I wish that should be on Full Gear, but
Mhm.
still the fans got what they deserve, and gave us a strong style match, and Eddie Kingston
Yeah,
part the victory.
yeah. Well, I forgot what if it was Excalibur or Taz. More than likely, it was probably Taz who said it. But yeah, I like it. Say Eddie Kingston, he brought Yonkers strong style.
Yeah, I think it was Taz. I think Taz would say some stuff like that.
Yeah, but But of course, like after the match, to show respect and rare display of emotion from Eddie Kingston in this one because you really don't see Kingston cry after a match, but given that this was a match he had waited for his entire career and finally have it, and yeah, it would have been cooler for the main portion of the show, but the fact that he even just had to have it all was funny. Or that was just an awesome moment for him. And I was kind of jumping ahead of my thought here because the funny thing was when he got on the mic afterwards and he was trying to hype up the pay per view, and it's like, "Hey, it's 7:53 and 40 seconds. Order the fucking pay per view." And it was like, and then he's like getting a crowd hyped up and said, "Hey, all right, yeah, I know you cheer for MJF, but he's still a piece of shit, whatever." But I'd say Eddie, like low key, is one of the funniest dudes that like I think we seriously do not give him credit for some of his mic skills.
His mic skills raw. I mean, Eddie Kingston speaks from his heart, and that's one thing that you can't fake it. That's one thing you can't script. That's like Eddie Kingston will speak from his heart. Hell, he did it before in Impact. He did it before in Progress. Now he's showing again in AEW. That's why the crowd so gravitate towards him because he's really real, and that's why I love him. Matter of fact, all of us love him by him, and that was a funny moment in a 0 hour show.
Yeah. Of course, and then we get to the main portion of the pay per view, kicking it off in the steel cage. Jungle Boy Jack Perry taking on Luchasaurus.
I will say that's one of the greatest steel cage matches I've ever seen because when they fought all over the place, inside, outside, grabbing weapons, grabbing tables, Christian's involved a little bit. Jungle Boy and Luchadors, that's how you're supposed to end the feud. And I hope this is it because it's time for Jungle Boy to move on.
But it's time for both of them to move on.
Yes. And when Jungle Boy hit Luchadors from the top rope elbow drop, from top of the cage elbow drop, that was really great. Delay of the table breaking, but it was really, really great. But that's one of the greatest steel cage matches I've seen for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that shot up because to jump ahead in the media scrum, he was asked about that and he was like, "Man, that was such an emotional shot." And of course, you see his mom and sister there at ringside right before he leaves that. I was like, those are the type of nuances that make an emotional match that draw you in. And I gotta say, that was a hell of a start to the show. Yeah, I was about to say like the only negative is like that we didn't get the table break immediately, so I was like,
nah,
but
that was a glitch.
I'm glad that I'm glad that you had the security dragging Christian out of the ring away from ringside, and then it just got to be Jack and Lucha one-on-one. All out solid start to the beginning of the show. Next up, we went to the Trios Championship. Death Triangle defending against the Elite.
That okay. I got a throw a flag on this one.
Hit it.
Those goddamn fans is a hypocrite.
Oh wait, yes, please get to that part.
Man, the match is great. Like the match is great, and the beyond the match, we're gonna talk about it in just a few more seconds. Those fans, when Kenny Omega was hooking up against Pac, or it was Matt Jackson hooking up with Pac, they start chanting "fuck CM Punk," and I'm sitting like, you hypocrite. Not too long ago, you was cheering for CM Punk. Now you want to F him? That's one of the most hypocritical shit ever. But I see the fans rioting for the Elite, but come on, New Jersey fans, don't be a fucking a hypocrite. Don't be like that because goddamn well that y'all be hopping on CM Punk Day. Don't worry, they'll be in Chicago and just. Oh shit, they'll be AEW in Chicago.
Oh,
that'd be something.
Yeah, this Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
By the way, By the way, shout out to you, Derek, for also putting up the clip of that one because I actually forgot about that incident originally. So our man
Yes,
Derek Edmonds, Woogie Man, always make sure to help if there were certain parts of this that we remember that we forgot that he always helps out. So shout out to you, Derek. And,
yes. But the match, it was well. I won't say well put together. I feel like this match is really, really awesome. The match was amazing. The match is 5-star. My favorite moment with the Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers, the kicking sequence,
yeah,
each
and then the
one, and
quiet
then
up. Yeah.
yes, that was always epic.
Right. How
Kenny,
about the triple tombstone?
oh my god,
Yeah.
that's some OMG moment from WWE 2K22 shit.
Yeah.
Because like they all here, like damn, they know each other so well. The biggest takeaway I would say is Kenny Omega, because the first time we see the image of Kenny Omega, he was still taped up, got the shoulder support, wearing a supporter T-shirt, but now he looked like him old school self, or shall I say, 100% better version of himself, and everybody look fresh to death, and I can't wait to see more. Um,
Yeah.
also,
Um, Also, shout
Hammer.
out to the group Kansas for the Wayward Sons entrance for the elite.
Yes, and I remember that they did copyright that song, or should I say license that song for the theme, and that has
Yep.
all come together. Um,
But let's get to the real takeaway of this story.
yes,
Now, remember a couple weeks ago, Ray Phoenix didn't want to use the hammer.
yes,
Uh, he threw the hammer down earlier in the match. It got him a V trigger for his trouble. Kenny had him up for the one winged angel. Uh, Ray didn't hesitate to use the hammer this time. And a Bob Hammer victory roll and Ray Phoenix getting the pin on Kenny Omega to help the Death Triangle remain AEW Trios champions.
great match, and I'm not mad about it
Mhm.
because I think I did say that the league gonna win, but they didn't win this one, in which I'm okay with that because I thought storyline would keep on going. Plus, Ray
Yep.
Phoenix used the hammer. Um, there's two things. I
Mhm.
wouldn't consider Death Triangle as a heel because Ray Phoenix was put in that position that you got no choice. You either you want to be honorable or you could do anything to win or any means by necessary to win the match.
Yep.
And the other part, we getting a surprise best of 7 series out of
Yep.
nowhere. So that really threw me off.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was mostly because of how this match ended. And by the way, yeah, Derek, I didn't get this chance to see like when all the 7 matches are because the graphic went by too quick. But yeah, we are getting the best of 7 series, and I believe the next match will take place this Wednesday night. Uh, we're not going to jump ahead, but that would not be the only news that Kenny Omega will have involved in this weekend. We'll get to that a little bit later. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Let's see. Next up was the TBS Championship with Jade Chitara Cargill against Mamacita Nyla Rose. And if you saw the entrances, y'all know where I'm going with this one.
yes, she got the low rider, and Vicky Guerrero got the Ami Poppy T-shirt, the Eddie Guerrero T-shirt.
Yep.
Ooh, it,
Yeah, and that Marina dressing up like a cholo or whatever. Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm so glad she did that, and I don't think she wore that one piece hat. Thank God. But
Yeah.
but this match though, I just like we expected. It was a banger. It was a banger match. Back and forth, both pull out their own moves. That's the one thing I really like. And I didn't feel threat of her title being losing. Or I didn't feel that match. I didn't feel her streak was on the line. I feel like it was her journey to get that title back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that match was weak. I would not say that. The match was strong. The match was really good. It was a banger. It was a banger of the
All right,
match.
I wouldn't go far as banger, but I also wouldn't go weak either. Because here's the one problem I had with this match. That as dominant as Nyla was, she also didn't seem that aggressive in the moments where she should have been. Because I get, yeah, you want to kind of rub it in a little bit, but it's like at certain points, yeah, there were times where it was way too illogical for her to be like kind of showbooting to the crowd a little bit. And instead, there should have been parts where when she thought she should have put Jade away, we should have saw a little frustration from her. And we kind of did. And it was like it's a small, like little nuance, but it was such a big one because if anything, Jade played her part correctly because like Excalibur and Tony were mentioning, we were not. Jade was doing some things we typically did not see her do in this match. Like, or excuse me, actually, JR was in the first half of this one. Tony was second. But yeah, we saw Jade actually go into the crowd. We never saw that in any of her previous matches. And
Nope.
yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, there was a lot of stuff here. So I think they got the Jade part right when she was either on the defensive or she was offensive, getting ready to make mistakes. The part they did with Nyla, they could have done a lot better with and had her work to aggression. Still, Jade winning was the right call. And I would say, like, I think if they meet again, to just work on the parts of Nyla's emotions when it comes to this one, because I'll say this: I think if they meet again, the next match will be a more of a banger than this one was. But still, I want to give respect to this match.
It was a to me, it was a great match. The vibe, I know you're talking about. If I can compare the vibe, I would have to say Women of Honor, a little bit of mixture of NXT Takeover. That's I will put that respectively because I feel like Nyla Rose did put her foot off the gas just a tad bit, but they played it not safe, but I would say semi-realistic. That's
Yeah.
I would say because they're both strong as hell,
Yeah.
and if they wouldn't go all out, you would see you probably see a 5-star banger in my opinion, but they let off the foot off the gas on Nyla Rose's part because you gotta make Jada look tad bit strong.
Yeah.
But great match. That's all I gotta say about that. Great match.
Yep. All right. Next up, then the four-way to the ROH Heavyweight Championship is the Ucho. Chris Jericho defended against the Spanish God Sammy Guevara, the American Dragon Brian Danielson, and Claudio Castagnoli. And man, you want to talk about four guys that can put it together. I mean, Danielson, we know how great of a worker he is. Claudio as well. Jericho, I gotta say, like, you can knock the guy when you want, but when he wants to go, man, he'll go step for step with anyone. And I had to say, in this match, I saw a little mature. I gotta give credit to this one. I saw some maturity from Sammy Guevara in this match.
He makes me a believer. He he makes me. Even though I'm a big fan of him, he makes me believer. He make me jump for. He made me jump as a fan. Haven't had this feel this way since CM Punk versus John Morrison. I know everybody have to feel about CM Punk, but
Yep.
it's whatever. But when Sammy Guevara finally stepped up to Chris Jericho, we knew it was coming. You knew it was coming, but it was serious. Like he wanted that shot. He wanted to become the Ring of Honor World Champion. Besides, it's a fatal four-way.
Yep.
But we knew with Claudio and Brian Danielson, we knew that because they fight each other. Plus, they're part of the Blackpool Combat Club. But for this one, it's totally different with Sammy Guevara and Jericho because Jericho told him from the Dynamite, do the right thing. And Sammy, like, you know what? I'm gonna take this opportunity. I want to be a Ring of Honor World Champion, and he did it. Um, just the thread through the match, it tells a great story.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the sequence after Claudio and Bryan Danielson knock off uh Jericho and Guevara is all about Claudio and Bryan Danielson, and we're just kicked off with at that sequence when Bryan Danielson gave him the flying knee to the face.
Yep.
And when Claudio got him over the head with the Gorilla press,
Yep.
we all thought Bryan gonna walk away with the title, but Claudio come back and start fighting back and forth, and it was a good sequence with the elbow connecting to the jaw, transition to another elbow connection from Claudio, back and forth with Bryan Danielson until Sammy Guevara came back. I think when Claudio and Bryan was on the turnbuckle,
Yep.
and Sammy knocked him off of the turnbuckle. That was a great sequence. Great run, and then what else I can try to remember? Also,
Oh,
Claudio.
again.
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, because then there's another spot, and then later in the match, the part that really came to me was like when Sammy hit the GTH on Jericho, and then almost pinned him with that shooting star.
Yes.
Like that would have been a snowball if they would have pulled the trigger there. But in fairness, like I said, the fact that all 40s men had the chemistry that they had, it just speaks volumes to how good of a worker all four men were. Especially like the sequence where Guevara and Jericho were in the corners, and then Danielson would do the running uppercuts while Danielson did his corner drop kicks, and then they would go back and forth. Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, Derek, yeah, Sammy definitely was a star in this match. Like both for the selling that he did for taking each man's offense, and then the moves that he did on his own. I mean, hell, and like when he had both Danielson and Claudio in the same corner, and then he hit the. I think he gave Claudio the cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And, but then the ending, though, man, talk about a thing of beauty. Like here you go, Claudio giving let's see, I think he gave Sammy the swing, but then out of nowhere, Chris Jericho with probably one of the sweetest Judas effects I think I've ever seen, because to pull that off was timing.
Yeah. The flying Judas effect. That's one of the most cleanest finisher I've seen. I've seen Raw Spray hit some the hidden blade in New Japan a couple of times. But with the Judas effect, with a flying elbow to the face, and then you got to do it again just to finish him off. That was poetic justice. I will say that. Jericho pulled off the win, retained his title. I would say I consider that a match of the year right there, because that gave me WrestleMania 20 vibe. The triple threat match. This right here, it gave me that vibe. That's what I love about it.
All right, and then a match that we were highly anticipating, but also had some nerves in this one. Yeah, Saraya making her in-ring debut against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and I admit this one was beautiful selling on Saraya's part, especially like when she took her first bump, and she was kind of down for a little bit, but then she like laid on it for a little while, and then like slowly worked it and gave the crowd, okay, I'm good, y'all, I'm good. But I had to admit, the match itself, yeah, great storytelling, great emotion in this one, and you know what? As much as people want to knock DMD for this one, yeah, when she wants, when she wants to try and steal the show, yeah, she could. she proves that she can do it. And I'll say Soraya, solid first match back. And I get they were trying to be careful with her, but yeah. Yeah, but it's still though, yeah, she was still able to take her bumps the right way. Like thankfully nothing looked too sloppy and while she was on offense or taking bumps. I was saying, great matchup.
Yeah, it was a great match. Great storytelling. That's one thing I take away from it. Storytelling, because it was, Brent Baker, that was her dream opponent. Soraya, this is her first comeback for a very long time. If
Mhm.
I can compare this match to, I can compare this match to Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens this year Mania, because we all been wondering how her neck will hold up. Can she take a bump? Is it going to be worried? Are we going to be worried throughout the whole time match? When she took some couple of bumps, and I paid attention how her body, react to the bumps or how her neck moved, everything else. And once the match going, I'm like, oh yeah, she can go. Same thing with Steve Austin. We took his big bump for a very long time. I'm thinking, oh yeah, he can go too. But for Soraya, it was a great comeback match. And I feel like she go, I would say 90, 95%, not all the way 100, because this is her first match comeback.
Mhm.
But you couldn't tell because she didn't step foot in the ring for many, many years. And for her to win her first match and hitting at least 3 Rampage back to back,
Yep.
that was sweet. It checked off all the questions. And now, after the match is over, the next big question is, what's next for her? Is it feuding? Is it moving her rank up? Or no rank,
Yeah.
but moving herself up to position? That's the question we're gonna see when she appear on Dynamite. If not, it's a lot of questions. But it's a good start. Love it. Great match. And I can't wait to see her more over in the ring.
Yep. Don't know. By the way, for those who are any fans, I don't know if she's gonna call that the nightlight anymore. Shout out to her indie name. But yeah, I had to say like this is definitely a good match, and of course, like I said, Britt definitely looked like a star in this one, and I had to say like out of the women's matches, this one was definitely the best of the three. But we'll get into the third one a little bit later. Coming up next, this one I gotta say was the shock of the night right here. The TNT Championship, Wardlow defending against Powerhouse Hobbs and the Submission Machine Samoa Joe. Yeah, yeah. I know we debated about this match heavily going into it, and I was like, man,
Yeah,
I admit I did not see the ending coming. He'll talk to me about this one, man.
me neither. Like, I was pulling for Hobbs to win, but great triple threat match. Great chemistry. Yo, what's up, Tonyo?
What's up, Tone?
Great match. Great chemistry. If it feel like it's a big meaty version of Unbreakable of the triple threat match back in TNA, but for this one, Samoa Joe, he put in work in. Brian, not Brian. Hobbs, he put some work in. Warlow, he is the centerpiece of the whole situation.
Yeah.
But Samoa Joe winning the title, at first I was pissed off about it, but the one thing that really changed my mind, and I'm thinking, okay, they're planting seeds. When Hobbs and Warlow look at each other and they
Yeah.
slowly nod at each other, I'm like, okay, the story's not over yet. We may see them again, maybe in final battle when they go for that Ring of Honor television title,
Yep.
most likely, or have them two guys go for that 2 3 4 title match, try to get the title back. But it's this is a revenge story because it started with Hobbs and Warlow from the beginning.
Mhm.
Not at the end, we see Samoa Joe walk away with 2 titles. So now it's 2 title Joe. Um, Derek said, "I'm glad Samoa Joe is a champion because TNT Championship has been a curse for a while.
Yeah,
TNT
a long
Championship.
time.
You know what? I would debate on that a little bit. It wasn't a curse. I mean, it wasn't steered right. I would say that it wasn't properly steered because AEW was fresh at the time. That we can't say no more.
All that, and plus there was, I think where Derek's getting going at, and I think you're saying the same thing too, is that they didn't they didn't book the champions properly because I'd say this outside of Darby and Miro, yeah, you can't really say that there were TNT champions that had really great reigns.
I, I will say Sammy Guevara, but it was in and out.
Yeah, or
But
maybe maybe Sammy's first one, but
yeah, Sammy first one. But the best one I say Cody Rhodes, but that was more business move than more prestige route.
yeah,
But
yeah. I was trying not to mention the American Quitter because I know how you feel about him and whatnot. But anyway,
yeah, this for now. We talk about the TNT
yeah,
Championship. Be created, but I'm still not giving that respect for that damn American Quitter. But anyway,
yeah.
but
I do gotta say, like, I had to roll with you on this because here's how I thought the match was gonna go. Like, I knew there was gonna be offense from all three. I thought Wardlow would retain, pinning Joe. All right, so then now that gives Joe reason to want to go after him. But it's like now Wardlow. So remember when I said I was going after every championship and then you hit me from behind? I figured the combination of that was like, all right, you've tried to take my title. Now I'll go for yours at Final Battle. But then, all right, after that, Hobbs would still be anticipating, and then they would set Hobbs up for a New Year's Smash. And that way, like, he'd start off with the TV title because. But either way, you're right. This story is going to be far from over.
we got what Winter is coming and Final Battle. So we're gonna see them title being alive, either the Ring of Honor Television Championship or TNT title or both. Somehow, some way, I want to see my boy Hobbs win that title because that's what I'm gonna say from there.
Yeah, because he definitely, because like I said, Hobbs has been putting in that work, and I just want to see where this goes. All right, let's see. Next up, and if I could give a shout out to my boy All Star for the Wolfpack, and of course, Real Garland, of course, from #Heals of Life. Yeah, because these two probably went as bad as hard as when it came to this match. Of course, Sting and Darby Allin against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hell, I gotta say, I gotta give the entrance of the night to Jeff Jarrett, and I never thought I would say that in a million years. But coming out with the fake stings and hell, I was like, Jarrett, yeah, I gotta give you props on this one.
This is I'm gonna call this a popcorn match because you just sit back and you enjoy. Like Sting, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Darby Allin, all four of them putting that work in, and especially Jeff Jarrett and Sting. Like I don't mind seeing the two wrestle each other one more time, but this match built for them. A no DQ, and we gotta give up to Singh, the big monstrous Indian guy.
Yep.
He knows how to play in the role. Like there's two moments. The first moment when you got Darby Allin in the air and he just flung his little ass. Yes, just flung his ass everywhere. And the other moment when Sting got him in the Scorpion Death Drop, but he couldn't drop him.
Yep.
Because he had a hard time doing it. I'm like,
and Darby helped him with the coffin drop. Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, wow, this really show, weight and strength do matter because back in the days, Sting had no problem give Kevin Nash Scorpion Death Drop, the giant of Scorpion Death Drop, or anybody else. But Sting is the first time ever the big guy gives him trouble, and
Oh,
Darby Allin help him out.
well, let's also remember, like, we're talking about a Sting that was in his 30s compared to a Sting in his 60s. Yeah.
I mean, like,
Although I'll say this though, Sting at 63 is still one strong cat though. That's a Stinger.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
If Great Muta can go, Sting can go too. And I will say this: I would love for him to go for the AEW Championship or a tag team title. I'm just saying. But
yeah. I'm saying that. Actually, I gotta give one extra spot because we can't talk Sting at AEW without him diving off the railing and something. And then
yes,
taking down Satnam Singh and Lethal and Sanjay Dutt.
everybody. And
Gotta
still,
shout out to Antonio, as I like to say, crazy old dad Sting jumping off jumping off rails and taking people down or whatever. So I
I
had to
mean,
give one for the enforcer.
oh yeah, of course. And now that Sting is a motivation for everybody. If he can jump off stage and do everything else and still healthy, god damn it, you can do it too. And he should be a motivated speaker for everybody. But also the sickening counter when Sting hit Jay Lethal with a Scorpion Death Drop when he
Yep.
tried to hit him with the lethal ejection.
Yep.
That was sweet. Quick, but sweet.
Yeah.
And
Talk about timing to pull off. That was good. And also, then when Darby went for the coffin drop and then Jarrett, yeah, that guitar shot. And
I love that guitar shot. I love the guitar. Like they didn't do a replica of the guitar. No, damn, a replica of the guitar. I would hang it to my wall. I would hang it up.
yeah.
But
I would say this now. It is official. And Jeff Jarrett is now the official guitar master of pro wrestling. Sorry, honky tonk. Yeah.
yes, if you will bring up guitar,
Yeah.
you gotta bring up with Jeff Jarrett because he's a king. And Hunky Tom might be good, but damn it, he is the great.
Yeah.
But entertain tag team match. It's time for Darby Allin and Sting go for the tag team titles. Like what are we waiting for? Let's go for it, man. I want to see it.
We gotta wait for the acclaim to cool off first before we gotta wait for the acclaim to cool off.
That ain't gonna happen.
Hey,
really
it
going,
eventually does at every point, but yeah. We'll get to that one later. Next, oh, by the way, and of course, Sting and Darby getting the win, and believe it or not, Sting is still undefeated in AEW, y'all. Yeah, I know it's crazy to think about it. Yeah. 2 years later. Yeah. Let's see. Next up, Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's Championship, and this was a coming out party for Jamie Hayter.
It is. It's to me, it was a sleeper because nobody paid attention to that match. Even give a nobody give a fuck about that match until that match started getting rolling. It started getting really good. I thought Tony Storm retaining, but I think Tony Khan and AEW they hear the fans and they notice it and they pull the plug on that title reign. They ain't pull the trigger, they pull the plug. It's a big difference. When you pull the trigger, oh yeah, it's time because the fans want to see that shit happening and they want to see it because they right behind it. Oh, they put a plug on Tony Storm because she didn't give us shit. Very flat booty. But it was it was an okay match. But it was a sleeper. But it wasn't bad. It was a sleeper match because nobody expected it until the match got going towards the midway towards the end, and that's where things get very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then here's the part that I brought up because I thought Hayter was going to win this match, and then they held it. But now, the part that I was always suspecting was going to happen. Jamie won, Britt lost. Yeah, hell, And I made this comparison to my friend Rob with the BCP podcast that this is now the women's version of Shawn Michaels and Diesel. Because remember when Shawn had his version of the Intercontinental title and after he lost it, but then of course Kevin Nash would have beat Scott Hall to become the Intercontinental champion.
Mm.
Yeah. So now Jamie Hayter's the champ. Britt isn't. How long do you think that's going to set well before yeah, Britt starts getting jealous at Jamie's popularity?
I would give it towards Winter is Coming, all the way to, I want to say, before Revolution or after.
Uh, I don't, Derek. Yeah, the only reason I'm not going to give that Triple H Norton because at least Triple H ain't because Britt ain't gonna go like 1 week and then just give it off on that one. Like, or hell, Triple H didn't even wait 24 hours, but that's another story another time. But
No.
yeah, but of course, Rebel came down, she got ejected, but then of course Tony Storm was out, then Britt Baker came in and interfered, and although it almost looked like it was going to backfire at one point because Britt was trying to loosen the turnbuckle, Tony Storm reversed the whip and knocked Hater into Britt. But Jamie would come back with the Haterade, and like I said, she would become the new champion.
Yeah.
And also Tony Storm, Did you see how did her news get busted? Was it from a kick or something?
I believe it was a kick. I believe something was happening. Her nose and mouth all bloody. But
Yeah.
Jimmy Hater won, and also Thunder Rosa. I think hopefully she do come back and finally end this whole interim thing, because that could play a major role.
Yeah. And I'll get to that one in a little bit myself. But because there's something about the media scrum which by the way had no incidents whatsoever. Well,
Thank
almost.
God.
Yeah. But next matchup is the AEW World's Tag Team Championships between the Acclaimed and Swerve in Our Glory. And Max Caster. The king of longer. It's a boy. He was really throwing in the bars on this one.
This one is best intro rap bar very long time. This is it, because he's usually would stop and the match would go, but he said he would keep going, and he sure did. He gave them zingers, like he called Keith Lee and Swerve Jay and a solid Bob, and what was he say? He mentioned about Twitter. He said all kind of dope shit, which was funny. But the match itself, we all point this out. It would have happened.
Yep.
Well, half, because I feel like Keith Lee would have dipped out, and the way he did it, it was brand new to me or brand new to us. He lift up Max, pat on the back, and walk out.
Yep. Yeah, but let's remember what triggered that incident, because, of course, now Swerve earlier in the match got a piece of guardrail and put it up against the apron. Now, at some point, Bones collided with Swerve, and Swerve was about to go, and Keith Lee actually saved him. Unfortunately for Keith, though, he wasn't so lucky as Max Caster would deliver a crossbody off the top, and send Keith through the rail, and this kind of was going to look ugly for the Acclaim because as if Bowens' shoulder wasn't bad enough, apparently Max Caster struck his knee during that crossbody. But here comes, yeah, Swerve again with the pliers. But then Billy Gunn tried to run down. And thankfully, like somebody from the back wound up stopping him. But this is where it happens. Keith Lee actually, yeah, refused to let Swerve go through with snapping Anthony Bowens' fingers, and then Swerve, yeah, it was at this moment where you knew you fucked up. Because he would slap Keith Lee right in the face, and then to your point, yeah, Keith Lee showed restraint just at Anthony Bowens, and see you later, I'm out.
Yeah, that was a turning point. And Swerve, he almost held his own for a minute. I was like, holy shit, if he win this shit by himself, that would be really, really awkward. But thank God that didn't happen.
No, that's right. Critically acclaimed. And then, of course, Anthony Bowens, the hometown boy, getting the pin, and acclaimed still your tag team champions. And yes, yeah, Newark did have a sister party afterwards.
It was very overwhelming for these guys because the scum, they explained to he got family friends and the trainer who helped them out while the crowd and proclaimed themselves as the best tag team alive. And which they are over tag team of all time.
Yep.
But that match, real deserved, real put together, great rival. I don't think we see that shit again like the other promotion, but for this one, it was a good trilogy of tag team. I mean, you look at the first one, we're all rooting for them, but they didn't get the job done. Second time, with the help of Billy Gunn, very questionable. Can they do it? The third one, final match, they answer all the questions and they prove themselves that they are the best tag team, not only in the AEW but in the world. So with that, that's a bona fide answer to all the questions. And the Acclaim, they hot. And the question is, who's next? Is it FTR? Is it shit, that's the only team I can think of, but any other team, but yeah.
Bucks, there's going to be a hell the Guns. There could be a lot of teams going for him at some point. So and now we get to the main event. And the most predictable thing that ever happened, because let's see. Antonio called this the night. You called this the night. I called this the night. Derek called this the night it happened. Quest wound up saying it as soon as Wolfpack was going. All-Star wound up calling. I mean, who didn't call this the night it happened? That confrontation between Regal and MJF wound up happening.
We saw this shit coming like Tom Brady throwing a touchdown pass. The promo speaks for himself. I don't need the diamond ring to beat John Moxley. Who you say in front of? William Regal. I'm thinking, he got a brass knuckle. Yep. I say it's from the rip. William Regal is the UK version of Kanan. MJF is Tariq. He teaching the boy how to be a devil. And sure enough, they did. And I was mad about it? No. I'm just waiting for somebody to call MJF a boring champion. Because what he just showed me is that going to be a match to remember. To be honest, it's not me being a hating MJF fan, whatever. I'm just saying how it is. It's there for a moment, but do I say that MJF is a great heel? He's good for talking, but he's good for being a great heel champion. Let's wait and see until Dynamite. Let's wait and see to the next defend when you face the winner of the tournament. Let's see from that, because I can smell it. I can see it. I can see it.
Yep.
He's not going to be a great heel champion because you made him that way. And yes, don't get me wrong, that match was good, but I feel like John Moxley pretty much helped them and push him. Hell,
Yep.
if I would say this, I'll say Dwayne Wade and LeBron James the whole match.
Yeah.
I see Moxley is LeBron James and MJF is Dwayne Wade because he alley hoop each other.
True. I want to say that still when it came to the match, like there were moments where I admit, like MJF kind of showed some grit with this one because I think of the tombstone onto the apron, but then he messed up his knee. Yeah, then he but he like messed up his knee because his pad like kind of slipped right as he delivered the move. And
Mm.
then taking a pile driver from the apron through the table, and it was like, yeah, and I'd say yeah, I forget who's the referee, and that was it Knox or was it Paul? Yeah, he had to really slow that count down because if you watch that one, MJF barely would have made that count if it was a normal cadence.
Oh yeah, that would be match ended with the match ended with a
Yeah,
kind of
count out. Yeah.
yeah I watched Stardom versus Japan, but yeah it will be a count out, but with MJF and William Regal, are they gonna work together? We see. Are we
Yeah,
gonna see John Moxley deserve a monthly vacation? Of course, because he
yeah,
carried.
he's overdue for. Yeah, he was overdue for one.
To be honest, I think we ain't gonna see him that much, but after I saw the video, seeing he reacting that what really happened,
Oh yeah,
we gonna see him again on Dynamite. He'll get his hand on William Regal, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Because I want to. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because for those who didn't see, posted shortly after All Out. Yeah, you saw Brian Danielson, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta all within the ring, and yeah, Console and Mox talked about what happened, and I was like, now I'm really wanting to see how all four of these men go after this one. And yeah, like I said, Dynamite's definitely going to be talked about. And oh, I almost forgot, we also have some matches made besides that one because yeah, after shortly after the Ring of Honor World Title, yeah, Chris Jericho found out that he well, thanks to a little provocation from All Atlantic champion Orange Cassidy, yeah, Chris Jericho will defend against Tomohiro Ishii this Wednesday night. And also, after a little interaction, yeah, Jake Hager would challenge Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic title.
Mm-hmm.
And, and by
I
the way,
think
I got to say, Jake, the hat suits you.
yeah he he loved that hat to death, and sure enough they're gonna sell that hat on pro wrestling tees. Um yeah, overall Full Gear it was a dope pay-per-view. I will say that. We can't forget about Overdrive. That was another dope pay-per-view, which I
Yeah,
advise all of y'all to watch Overdrive. You will
yeah.
never
Check
be
out
disappointed.
Yeah, Impact Plus right there.
Oh
And
yeah.
speaking of pay-per-views, and it was confirmed during the media scrum that Sunday night, March 5th, 2023, San Francisco, California at the Chase Center. Yeah, Revolution will be the next AEW pay-per-view. So make sure you look for that. I believe tickets will go on sale, if not this Friday, the next Friday. So,
Hmm.
yep. And speaking of the media scrum, yeah, I said it almost went without a hitch because naturally enough, leave it to MJF to come in about the gloating about his victory and everything. So yeah, so that was interesting note. But I do have to say this, but to go back to Jamie Hayter,
Mm.
somebody asked her point blank, "What would you think about Britt being a rival?" And she said, "Hey, she'll welcome it if and when the opportunity presents herself." So,
Planting seed. Planting seed. I
yep.
think I think she's planting seed for that match very soon.
Mhm.
We could see how Britt Baker gonna react because she lost, but
Yep.
Jamie win. It's gonna be really, really interesting for Dynamite, and I'm really looking forward to see Dynamite and Rampage for that one.
Mhm. Yep, but that's not all we had that went down this weekend because historic crossover took place a little earlier this afternoon. And, ladies and gentlemen, we now know the identity of the inaugural IWGP Women's Champion. And, yep, congratulations, Kairi, defeating Mayu Iwatani in the finals today at historic crossover. And, now we know Kairi, the first women's champion, and I'm going to tell you what, I wouldn't have been mad at this call either way because Iwatani and Kairi, yeah, two great superstars in Japanese women's wrestling, well, just women's wrestling in general, but two of Japan's greatest stars, without a doubt.
Oh yeah, and plus this is Stardom big show with New Japan, and whoever come out on top, you can't go wrong with it. Since now Kairi San's a champion, and plus she will defend her title at Wrestle Kingdom next January, in which I feel it's gonna be the best Wrestle Kingdom we ever gonna see. The question is, who's she gonna face? Are we gonna see Mercedes? Are we gonna see somebody from Stardom? Are we gonna see somebody from AEW or Impact? Like the door is wide open for anybody from any promotion that New Japan is partnered up with. And that's one of the best thing about that. But if I want to bet one of my championship title, which I'm not going to do that, I'm, I'm going to say that
That's,
Mercedes going to show up. Mercedes want the IWGP Championship
mhm,
because we have not seen her use her WWE name, Sasha Banks, for many many months.
mhm.
That name is gone. She used Mercedes.
Yep.
She used all different names, including the finishing move. I think she's going after the IWGP Women Championship. And when she go for that, if she wins that title, I got a feeling she gonna make that title way more important than the WWE Women title. She will give me that Vader vibe. When I say Vader vibe,
Yeah.
I remember Vader made a comment about the WCW title was like a toy to him compared to the IWGP Championship.
Yeah. I know.
So,
I think Hulk said the same when it came to the WWF versus the IWGP.
mhm.
Yeah.
so I expect her to say that or had the same reaction because right now it is huge. It's huge for all the women. So I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see how it's going to play forward for next year.
And that's right. Go to Derek mentioning this one too. Props to Kyrie for even wrestling not only just this match but also her semifinal match. Yeah, wrestlers with bad ankles.
I mean, they're tough. Like Stardom, they are tough women. I thought Yoshi Pro Wrestling did. Don't get me wrong. I watch Yoshi Pro Wrestling. They tough. They're more cuddly but vicious. As Stardom is more athletic and more hard hitting.
Mhm.
That I will say, and I need to subscribe Stardom. Law, I need to do that one day. But the Stardom, they tough. They really tough, and they will go out, you know, bang the fuck out. So you get from the best from Stardom. That's what you're gonna get. There's no slouch on that.
But that was not the only big news because yeah, remember I said I we had something about Kenny Omega to bring up later in the show?
Yes.
Well, after Will Ospreay defeated Shota Umino to retain the United States Championship, lights go out, video comes on. Anytime you see that in Japan, that usually means somebody's throwing down a challenge. And lo and behold, a familiar face to Japanese fans everywhere. Boom! Aiming at Will Ospreay. Challenge thrown down. Challenge accepted. It is official. January 4th, Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega. It is locked, set, sailed.
And you know I repping though. I
Mm,
love Kenny Omega, but Will
yeah.
Ospreay. That's my boy, and I cannot wait to see this match happening.
Derek, you're not lying on that one.
Ooh, Lord, yeah, he gonna give this match a 10 star.
Nah, damn that, he'll go 20.
This like this gonna be the match of the year. Like Wrestle Kingdom, like you already stacked the card. You got the first ever IWGP Women Championship. We got Okada and Jay White, Go Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Then we got now we got Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega for the IWGP United States Championship. And it's funny that we all say this like one day Kenny Omega will go back to Japan, and now he's going back to Japan. It just opened lots of doors now.
Yeah.
This Kenny Omega go back to New Japan because if they're going back to Japan,
Yeah.
I hope, I hope we will see Kenny Omega, Bullet Club
Oh man.
once together. And if New Japan is smart enough, I
Well,
want to see Kenny Omega versus Jay White
all right.
because Jay White betrayed Kenny Omega, took over the Bullet
Yep.
Club. That's the match I want to see. I don't want to see Okada and Kenny Omega. That'd be some Fast and Furious franchise rivalry. That's good
Yeah.
enough. We don't want to see that. But Jay White and Kenny Omega, this is the match that the Bullet Club had never seen before. We could have had with Jay White, AJ. No, we could have AJ Styles versus Kenny Omega. That didn't
Yep.
happen. We could have AJ Styles versus Chris Devitt in New Japan. That didn't happen. We the Jay White versus Kenny Omega slipped through our hands, but now this is your opportunity. If New Japan Pro
And
Wrestling is smart, okay,
yeah. And you know what? I have a perfect date for him to pull that event off. Because looking at the 2023 calendar, May 13th just happens to be on a Saturday this year.
double or nothing.
No, I'm just saying that May 13th would be the 10-year anniversary of the Bullet Club forming. So, and
Ooh.
Japan's got, oh, but wait a minute. That'd be really close to Dominion, though.
Well, if I do remember that I did brought the Young Buck T-shirt on that day, but
Good.
if they play that role,
Mm-hmm.
Jay White versus Kenny Omega, I
Yeah.
think that'd be perfect. But we don't know if Kenny Omega will still be the IWGP US champion. We don't know Jay White will be IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
Al, that's like you don't even need a belt for that matchup. Yeah, because dude, just having Jay White versus Kenny Omega for just for like bragging rights alone would. that automatically. Now if there is a championship on the line, hey, that just makes it all the sweeter.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't need a title, then they need to keep the storyline going through AEW through New Japan because JY can go back and forth and move. I remember they talking about Forbidden Door 2 last year.
Mm-hmm.
I shit, we may see a Forbidden Door 2 in Japan. That would be a good planting seeds right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be a good crossover. And wish that would be a good segue for that. Great crossover. Because what we're watching right now, New Japan and Stardom, that was a good crossover. Last year, Forbidden Door, AEW and New Japan, that was a good crossover. AEW and Impact, that was a bad crossover. To this day, that was a bad crossover. My God. But when we talk about crossover promotion,
Yeah.
we've seen great talent facing another great talent, either a super event or one show for like either like the Monday Night Raw or Monday Night Nitro or even AEW on Wednesday night. Crossover is really good. It's something you see straight out of a video game like Capcom versus Marvel, uh, WCW versus New Japan, or
Yeah.
WWE versus any promotion you could think of, any from the video game.
Yeah.
But when you have a good crossover promotion, you gotta have great relationship, business wise. That's one thing that fans gotta realize that. Yes, we will love to see Undertaker versus Sting. We would love to see um CM Punk versus AJ
Kenta.
Styles. Yeah, Kenta. Or the Young Bucks versus Uso. It's all great on paper, but you gotta think deep. You gotta think about business and trust and relationship. Like AEW and New Japan, they had great trust and relationship. Hell, Ring of Honor New Japan, great trust and relationship. The greatest business relationship we've seen in this professional wrestling history is WCW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you look back at the 90s, that's what the strongest relationship they ever seen until Great Muta and WCW 2000 that was fell off. But you look back at the 90s from like 91 through 98ish,
Yeah.
that was that's one of the most beautiful relationships we've ever seen because they have super show together. We've seen world championship trading places in Japan and WCW. Scott Norton, IWGP heavyweight champion. Masato Chano, the WCW international heavyweight champion. We've seen U.S. title trading places.
Yeah, Kensu Sasaki. Yeah.
Yes, in which he introduced the three-plated U.S. title.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of great history, and now we've seen this again. Now,
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just throw you off, we actually do have a confirmation that Kyrie's Wrestle Kingdom opponent has been named. Yeah.
who is it?
Yeah, it will be she will be Tam Nakano, who's one half of the current Goddess of Stardom champions with Natsupoi and a former Wonder of Stardom champion as well.
Okay, that could be a great match. Champion versus champions.
Yep.
It's gonna be a banger, even though I want Mercedes going to New Japan. God damn it! But
she can still show up like after the match is over. So
yeah, that is true. Show up in Wrestle Kingdom, throw down challenge. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, I just a record. Full card. Well, not full card, but the card as of press time for Wrestle Kingdom. Of course, Switchblade Jay White taking on the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Championship. Like we just said, Kairi will defend the IWGP Women's title against Tam Nakano. Taiji Ishimori in a four-way match for the junior heavyweight title will defend against Hiromu Takahashi, Master Wato, and El Desperado. Will Ospreay will defend the United States title against Kenny Omega, and the NWGP World Television Championship. The finals will be Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ren Narita.
I forgot about that TV championship. That's bad.
Yep.
But that's gonna be a good. That could be a good match though. But I'm still pissed. My boy Toriano did not make it to the final because I thought that time would fit for that boy because it would fit for him that 15 minutes rule.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a good card, and will be a one night only. Great card. A lot of ties be up for grab. Hopefully more matches will be announced very soon.
Sure there will be. I'm sure there will be. But as if this weekend hasn't given you enough pay-per-view week, enough pay-per-view action. Of course, we know that next Sunday is the Survivor Series, and of course, War Games. Still waiting to find out. Well, we actually know the men's side. Of course, Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens against the Bloodline. But it's still the women's side we're a little iffy about because we know Damage Control, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley will be on one side. Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Bianca Belair, of course, the Raw Women's Champ. Mia Yim, that's 4. We're still waiting on number 5. But the reason I bring up Survivor Series is because just a few days ago, one of the most controversial events in Survivor Series history just passed its 25th anniversary. And of course, Canadian viewers, we apologize for this one. We're talking about Montreal.
Whew. Damn, 25 years. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that it's still, like, you think about it, this still ranks as one of the most game-changing moments of professional wrestling history because, like I said, this was pretty much the thing. Now, you just didn't peek behind the curtain. It literally got ripped all the way off.
Shit, ripped off, burned up, gunned down, blown up like Call of Duty. I mean, you name it. Like, I would never ever forget the experience to see the Montreal Screwjob because while watching it, everything going on, I'm a huge fan of the DX and a huge fan of Shawn Michaels. That's one of my influence, one of my icon. And you see it back and forth, and the way it go down, and Shawn Michaels hit with the sharpshooter, and the bell rang. I'm like, okay, must be a mistake, it is what it is, but no, that was it. And at that time, there was no behind the scene documentary until like a year later. Yeah, there was no wrestling news or Wrestling Inc. or WrestleMania or anything else about that. You just get it from the magazine, the word of mouth. That's it. But for this one, it was a changer. Like you said, it was a game changer because Bret Hart, he didn't want to jump the title to Shawn Michaels. He really wanted to jump the title to Ken Shamrock. If you guys watched the Vlad TV interview with Ken Shamrock,
yeah,
really great guy. Watch that.
Or if not even that, he'd even said he'll drop it to Taker or he'll drop it to Austin, one or the others. But
And Shawn Michaels, he become real disrespectful. He won't do the job for you, and he would do the business for himself. And plus, Bret Hart contract was up.
Yep.
So, Vince McMahon was fearful that Bret Hart may take his WWE title, go to WCW, and think about doing the same thing what Medusa doing. But I don't think Bret Hart would do that because the way he is, he's very prideful. He's very respectful for the business.
Yeah.
He would never do anything. He would never do anything disrespectful to the title. Like he loved that WWF championship title because he treated it like a real title, like a real thing. And for that, he wouldn't do that. And this man had to do something for himself.
Yeah. And that was the whole thing I thought of, like, once I really got to both sides of this, is because Bret's a traditionalist. And even though, tradition says that you lose the title on the way out, at the same time, though, Brett also protected himself with the creative control clause, and I thought like it was a good thing to do because as as no secret, Shawn Michaels in the '90s, well, as great as a wrestler he wasn't always the best person to be around. And I'm like this. I thought Brett's alternative was actually a logical idea because, okay, he doesn't win the match, but he's still champion. He comes out on Raw, hands Vince the belt, retires, and walks off there, and that's just and plus, not to mention, you get a great send off because he's leaving in Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. So it's like, yeah, you give Brett a great send off. Then all you had to do is just work a tournament to put the title on Sean, and then you kind of like still went on business as normal. But with this now, like you've really painted Vince is the bad guy. Is this? Although like you said, a lot of it was going to get deflected onto Sean because like Sean had the real history of Brett, and I feel like in some ways, like Triple H should have actually got more than Sean when I found out that when they did that little conference call before Survivor Series, but that it was actually Hunter that was really the one who suggested, who kind of like indirectly suggested the screw job in the first place. But in all honesty, Vince kind of already had the idea in mind, but because of the Hunter speaking out the way he did, it was just like, yeah, it kind of made it come off like it was Hunter who really suggested it.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it was, I guess, you could throw in Hunter, McMahon, Jim Cornette, Vince Russo, because of Dark Side of the Ring,
Yeah,
and Shawn Michaels was a trigger man.
yeah,
And not only that, you gotta think about this when the business going to the Attitude Era. Well, the dawn of the Attitude Era,
yeah,
because Bret Hart, he don't have the attitude, to be honest. Like, even he tried, it doesn't fit with him. That's not his MO. And they had to find a way to take the belt off him one way or another because business wise, if Bret Hart would have stayed in the Attitude Era, I think he would be left in the dust. Like, of course, he will work his way around. We see it with the bullshit promo, the no, this is bullshit promo, but it doesn't fit with because you could tell he don't feel comfortable with that. So, well, one way to do it, give to somebody who fit the mold of the Attitude Era. DX, Austin, Undertaker, all these guys who gel so well. But for Bret Hart, it was unfortunate. It was a business wise. He would love to stay, but things is changing, and he go to WCW, and unfortunate happened. Well, he did become a Triple Crown champion, but at the end, his career ended badly. But with that type of style of thinking of the business, you gotta think yourself, what if we have another screw job once again? Like we see a screw job in AEW, we see a certain wrestler want to leave or go somewhere else, and they decide to pull off the screw job, or we see another screw job in WWE. It would it would change the business, but then again, like, damn, that's kind of pretty selfish. Like we've seen that happen before. Matter of fact, we see that same behavior in Bash at the Beach when Hulk
Hogan.
Hogan want to be a world champion and Jeff Jarrett he just lay down and Vince Russo said, "We're not gonna do this shit no more," and we start the match. Um, I want to say we see the same thing like WWE earlier, but that was totally different when CM Punk was the WWE champion. The screw job itself is one of the most talked about moments ever. Even though it was parody of it, they did a documentary about it. Even Dark Side of the Ring took hold of it. It's one of those most talked about moments. If the screw job didn't happen, I don't think anybody would talked about it. I think the pro wrestling business will be the same, but a different route. And hell, Bret Hart wouldn't go WCW. It's like one of those what if situation if the screw job didn't happen that time.
And I also think about like some other things, and I know this kind of more to think about it, but of course, the biggest changes will we had any of the Owen Hart stuff go down.
If Owen Hart didn't become Blue Blazer, well, if Bret Hart would have stayed, I think Owen Hart wouldn't become a Blue Blazer. I think Bret Hart would be influenced. I think he would have some power. I think he would have changed his mind. But when Bret Hart is gone, then pretty much Owen Hart is solo dolo and he ain't got no power. He ain't got no any say. He just go out do his work and unfortunately he become the Blue Blazer and unfortunate stuff happened. If Bret Hart would stay and there was no Montreal Screwjob, I think Owen Hart would have been the champion with the help of Bret Hart. Owen Hart would have been, I would say, the pillar of the Attitude Era at some point because he got it. We see that.
And I also think, yeah, do you know what else? I also think like then you could have capitalized on. I think you could have also finished off on the whole because, but I will say like WWF also had a missed opportunity because I think he could have worked the three-way for WrestleMania. Because I agree, Austin won in the Rumble. But what if you had Owen and Shawn also in the mix? Because if you think about it, you would have you would have two different stories like intertwining. Because you have, of course, Owen wanting to get vengeance on Shawn for running his family out. But then again, you could also add Austin Owen because Austin still was upset about that pile driver at SummerSlam.
Mm, yeah, that would be one hell of a triple threat match. That'd be in WrestleMania 14.
14. Yeah.
I think that match would be great. It'll be I'm trying to think. It'll be crazy. It'll be something, and that'd be good send out to Shawn Michael as well because
Yeah.
Shawn Michael hurt his back, and then he
Yeah.
will drop the title either Orton or Austin. If Orton would win that title, to be honest, it will alternate the history. There wouldn't be Austin 316.
I still think there would have been. Actually, you know what? I'll even go this part. I would have thought maybe if. Shoot. No, because you want to know why they would have actually still put Owen in the room. Yeah, because I'm thinking this way because yeah, because initially here's what I'm talking. Like, if you didn't have Taker in the casket match at the Royal Rumble, yeah, I would have probably made Shawn versus Owen in that match.
D-Generation Next ending. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because it was like yeah, for Owen coming back at DX and like knocking him off and like, or yeah, they just have him beat Hunter to earn the title shot. So at the Rumble. But then again, there's like a whole lot of ways we could have snowballed this one, but that's that. But anyway, yeah, because I gotta get ready for nightcap in a couple, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a final thought for this one. First and foremost, everybody, please have a happy Thanksgiving this weekend. Enjoy your time with your families. Of course, for those who, like I said, our brother Antonio just lost his mom. So, yeah, for those who lost family members anytime within the past uh, week or so, that just keep those alive in your heart while you're around those you're alive with, because again, losing family is never an easy thing, and we don't want to wish any, especially this time of year, where a time we're supposed to be thankful for our families, and Christmas right around the corner and stuff. So want to give want to give that first and foremost, and then also man, for everybody, yeah, for everybody in the wrestling business, yeah, to the men and women that performed this, because I also forgot about this incident. Yeah, don't be like that fan that threw a drink at Scarlett a couple of days ago,
Oh yeah.
because this type of stuff is getting way too frequent, way too happen, and yeah, one of these days, there's going to be that fan that goes one step too far and pushes a wrestler, and you know what? You better be lucky that the security is throwing you out the building instead of the wrestler coming to whoop your ass. Because guess what? Even if even if you do wind up getting money for winning a lawsuit, guess what? Yeah, most of it's going to be spent on your damn hospital bill, because you ain't going to probably get a chance to wrestle. And but you better then again, you're also unlucky because with the security throwing you out, now you've kind of already lost money on your own because you had to act like a dick. Yeah,
Yeah. Unfortunately, fans will still be a dick, and and that's one of those unfortunate cycle in the world of pro wrestling, or pretty much in the world of sports, or matter of fact, world of genre of entertainment.
yeah. Yeah, but
But
just closing line was this: to our men and women, we want to be thankful for you guys for always putting on your body, and even though MJF was being a complete liar about this on the post show after the Dynamite, but yeah, when you step between those ropes, you're risking your bodies and you're risking your lives just so you can satisfy all of us. And I know that you guys are on the road pretty much year round, and you got to be away from your families around times like this. So, man, for the times that you do get to go home and see your families, we hope you spend plenty of time with them. And just know that, hey, we appreciate you guys for taking your time for being away from, whether it be your husbands, your wives, your boyfriend, girlfriends, your sons, daughters, or whatever have you. And thank you for always just entertaining us year round, no matter what cities or countries that you go to.
yes, and we all thank you for that. And also, my final thoughts. Hopefully, everybody have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. Hopefully, everybody enjoy Survivor Series War Game. No, I am. Um, Also, thank you for enjoying watching this episode. But next week episode, or the week after the episode 21, you know what? We're gonna save it for surprise.
Yeah,
But that's the show. Thank you for taking time out to watch us. If you like it, leave a share, like, comment on YouTube, on Facebook, share, like, comment. Uh,
yeah.
we
Also,
will,
shout out to Derek, always supporting us and
yeah,
commenting on all the videos and stuff. Woogie, you rock, brother.
yes. And I'm your boy Heel.
Rocket
boy.
Breeze.
Peace.
Uncle
Also, our boy, Antonio.
Enforcer would love you, brother.
Yes. And until then, always embrace the thirst.
He's, yeah, great.